We go to 16 and 19, and we see young David has even been summoned by King Saul to play the harp in the royal court, 16 and 19. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, that was David's daddy, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. Because you see, when he had that evil spirit there, Diana, it says that that spirit would come upon him, Amanda, and he said that music would, everybody heard that music will soothe the savage beast. And so he would have David come play. Now, he don't know that David's been anointed king. He don't know David's fixing to take his job. Now, was that haphazard that he was a good harp player and it just so happened that Saul called him? No. It was ordained by God. It was ordained by God to get him into the royal palace. It was ordained by God that he would understand the position that he would later on take. 1 Samuel 17 and 17. We get to the good stuff. You see, the three older brothers is what Scripture says. They were in the battle. The Philistines and the Israelis were camped out. Now, David is there at the battlefield because Jesse said unto him, Take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched corn and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren. He's going to take them a little home-cooked meal, Brother Henry. Now, was that karma? Still not. This is ordained by God. 17 and 23. And as he talked with them, that's David, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. You see, Goliath is not only a big man, but he's got a big mouth. And he's out there taunting them. And he's out there telling them. In 17 and 8 it says, And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, said unto them, Why are you come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall we be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. Cheryl, he's out there taunting. You don't ever taunt nobody, do you? You don't taunt Jesse sometimes. I can't get a solid answer. He's out there, and he's walking out there, big boy, and he's saying, I'm the man. Now you send me somebody out here and try me. Because you remember what Goliath has got. He's got the stature, he's got the girth, he's got the weapons, and they weigh more than probably most of us can even pick up. He's dependent on his own power right now. I want you to get this in your head. He's dependent on the power of Goliath to defeat the enemy. But we're going to find out that David is not dependent upon David to defeat the enemy. He's got another higher authority. 17 and 40, we just keep moving on. 17 and 40, and he took his staff in his hand, that being David. He chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and he put them in his shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip, and his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. So I want you to understand. And I've skipped a lot because we've already talked about David, and most of you know. David is ruddy, is what the Bible refers to him. Doesn't sound like he's a big weightlifting dude, Jackie. Doesn't sound like he's none to be, like nobody would be scared of him. And he goes out there and says he picked up 5. And usually when I tell it, when I get to preaching to somebody off on at the job site or something, Roger, I have a tendency, I don't know why I do it, but I say 5 smooth stones. You know, I believe it was relevant that he picked up 5 smooth stones. He picked up something that he's fixing to go into battle with. He's facing a giant that is beyond comparison in that day and age. Let me do it that way, Mark. He's just a big old boy. And what he's going to do is it says he's got his staff, he's got his little stick, he's got 5 smooth stone, and he's got his sling. Everybody knows what a sling is. It's just a little piece of leather with 2 strings, and you twirl it around your head, and you let one of the strings go, and you zip, and you hit folks with it. I reckon, folks kill rabbits and everything else. 5 smooth stones. We're going to go over there why there was 5. Everybody know. I know David knows because we had talked about it. 5 smooth stones because if I go and kill you, there's a blood oath that your brothers are going to take, and they're going to come kill me. That's just the way it is. And he knew that there was already 4 more brothers or 4 more close relatives, whether it be uncles or whatever it was, there was 4 more he knew he was going to have to deal with when he killed that big old boy. Now, if you just off the surface of that, you say, well, what's the significance? The significance is he knew he was going to kill Goliath, or he wouldn't have picked up the other 4, Chris, but he knew he was going to have to tangle with them later on. So he picked up 5 because he says, I got 1 for big boy, and then I'm going to get the other 4 when the time comes. They do succumb. We could read about that story later. They are killed by the servants of David. 5 smooth stones, Sister Della, and he's going out and he's fixing to wage war with the biggest dude he's ever laid eyes on. He's fixing to go wage war, and it'd be like me going out there with a 410 shotgun, Jackie, and facing a 155 millimeter howitzer or tank. That's basically what he's going out there to do. He's going out there to face a man that's bigger than him, more armed than him, and I guess meaner than him, because Saul told him, said, you're but a youth. Said, this man been killing folks since his youth. He don't know nothing but war. That's all he knows. See, he's dealing with an animal right here. I've told some of y'all the story. When I was over in Egypt, I was on the border of Egypt and Israel at one time at an outpost, and I was a sergeant, and one of my jobs as a liaison was I had to go and see my mirror every once in a while, Tammy. I had a lieutenant with me, and there was a sergeant over there, Israeli, and he was the same rank as me, and I'd take him over, and we'd have to go and visit with him. Make sure we kept, because we were standing from here to the door from the border, guarding each other. Everybody's guarding each other. And we're locked and loaded, baby. We ain't got blanks. We ready to do business, and business was good. So I would go over there, and I remember one time I turned 21 over in Egypt. Turned 21, being a squad leader in an infantry platoon. And I remember I went over there one time, Roger, and I was talking to my mirror. And I had on my ribbons. And I had some good ones too. The highest one I had was an Army Achievement Medal. That just means I showed up for work or something. I don't know. It wasn't a very big, I had a good driving medal there, David. That meant I had drove a Humvee or a tank or whatever it was for so many thousand miles without killing somebody on accident or without tearing it up. And so then my mirror is talking, and he says, Sergeant Norris, how are you? And I'm telling him I'm good, everything going all right, we ain't got no issues, ain't nobody crossed the border, everything. I says, and I'm just making small talk. And I said, what's that ribbon right there for? And he said, that is my 50th kill. And I knew it was coming, Jerry. He said, what's that for? Well, that's a good driving medal. I drove a Jeep and didn't run it out of gas. I don't know. This man had been killing folks. That's all they know over there is killing folks. They wake up thinking about a better way to kill folks. And this is what David and Goliath are. Goliath has been killing folks since killing was known to be killing. And here's poor little old David, a sheep herder, is gone out there, and I wish I'd have dressed you up because it would have really worked. Because I want you to understand, he's going out there, but he's not going with the confidence of David. He's going with the confidence of God. Do you understand, folks? He's going out there to battle. He's going out there for an enemy that has done utterly talked about God, has just talked about him ugly, has been a hypocrite and cursed him and everything else, and he's fixing to go out there and he ain't coming back until business is done. He's coming out there and he tells him, I'm going to cut your head off. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to feed you to the fowls. I'm going to feed you to the animals out there. He's out there fixing to do business. And that's what goes on out there. David arms himself with his staff, his sling, his 5 smooth stones. And he tells him in 45, where the young man read, David said to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and a spear and a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. And he tells him this day. I want you to understand, he says this very day. He says today, before the day ends, not tomorrow, but today will the Lord deliver mine enemy unto me, so that all will know that there's a God in Israel. You see, just like, who was it? Tracy was trying to step on my message too. Tracy says sometimes we need a little healthy fear. Is that how you said it? This is what David is telling Goliath. Says today, I'm fixing to instill a little healthy fear in everybody that sees what's fixing to happen today, because I'm a little bitty fella with a sling, a staff, and 5 smooth stones, and I come to take your life today. Not because I'm big and bad, but because God is on my side. God is the one I turn to. God is the one that's got my back. God is the one that's given the marching order. It's got nothing to do with us, Jesse. It's got everything to do with God as to the way we get there in the battle. It's got Brianna, it's got everything to do with God in your battle that you're fighting up there in Jackson. It's got nothing to do with you, the baby, or granddaddy, or nobody. It's got to do with God. And until we put God first on the list, until we put God as the one that we call upon when we got problems, we can't do it. Too many times, and this old boy has done it more than I really care to confess. I said, I can do it. I can do it. But it's not. It just ain't true. And he says, this day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand. In verse 47, he goes on, he tells him, so that all that are present here today will know, beyond the shadow of doubt is what we would say. I'm fixing to make it crystal clear, big boy. We'll know that the Lord doesn't need man-made weapons, for the battle is the Lord's, and He will give you into our lands. See, we've got to have that faith. Greg didn't know what I was preaching on, and he brought it up. We've got to have that faith in God. We've got to have that faith that even when the battle is raging heavy, when the battle is raging hot, when we're losing sometimes, and we're going to lose some battles, but I've read the end of the book. We're going to win the war.